So I graduated college, and after graduation, like the day after graduation, I got the chance to go to Mexico. First time out of the country. Um, so I thought I'd just talk about some things that I noticed, some differences that I noticed from America, or at least East Coast U.S. and Mexico, because I went to Mexico City, and I took a couple classes at Anahuac University, which is, from what I was told, is like an NC State type school. Like it's up there. It's up there. So, um, so yeah. Let's get started. So obviously, difference in language was the first thing. I knew about that. I knew bare minimum Spanish. Um, so that was difficult as it was. It's a good thing we had some Spanish speakers there, because it would have been bad if we didn't. So, the next thing that I realized when we got there was traffic, right? So, the way that they drive there is totally different than how they drive here in America. We have all these rules, I mean, they had stoplights and stop signs, but it was only like when it was really needed. Like, I have a picture and a video of traffic on the highway, and everybody, for somehow it's safer driving there. There's less accidents there than there is here, because I guess everyone is aware of their surroundings, so they're aware of the people driving. Everybody just like merges together, and it's like I was scared. And then everybody drives fast, and so Mexico City is like in the mountains, so like I guess that would be another thing. The elevation was another thing. Lots of elevation. It was a lot harder to breathe. I've got asthma, so yeah, I could tell. And then pricing. Obviously, there is a huge pricing difference between the peso or the Mexican peso. Gotta be specific because it's another peso. The Mexican peso and the US dollar. So one US dollar is around 20 Mexican pesos. So I had to get used to the pricing difference. I was giving out tips, large tips, without even knowing, to the wait staff at restaurants. So there's that. Another thing I noticed is that they will do anything to make money. I mean, like, not like anything, but like when you're driving, you have people passing out on the street, passing out newspapers to make money, or doing like tricks. Like I saw somebody juggling machetes at a stoplight for cars to see if they can get money, selling candy and chips and snacks in traffic, like that. Like, they work hard. So another thing that I noticed was the pride in their culture, and I loved it. Like, I love going, like, I've always wanted to travel, and one of the things that I like seeing from other countries is how proud they are of their own culture and of their country. So we went to folkloric dance show, and it showed different folkloric dances from different eras of time and areas of Mexico. And I thought that was like beautiful. I loved it. That's all I gotta say for that. And then so like I said, I took classes at Anahuac University. Noticed that classrooms didn't have AC. I guess a lot of schools don't have air conditioning. I was not used to that, so it was a shock for me. It was hot, so we opened up the windows, and you had the windows, and it kind of cooled it down for the most part, and it was like dark in the classroom too. Also, in the classroom in the US, we have computers that are connected to the monitor, connected to like the smart board, and the projector screen, right? So here at the school, in the classroom that we were in, the teachers could just bring their own computers. They had hookups in the wall that would automatically connect to the projector. And all they needed was their tablet or their laptop, and they didn't need like a desktop computer to do that. And I was like, oh, fancy. I have not seen that. So yeah, that's good. I thought that was interesting. And then the hotel that we stayed at, we were in the business district of Mexico City. I think that's what it was. Like, it was really fancy. Like, there was a Maserati store, like, right down the street. The Maserati dealership, let me correct that, right down the street from our hotel. Like, I could walk to it. So we were also, like, probably like, it was like a 5-minute walk from the biggest mall in South America and Central America. At least that's how they promoted it. It was really big. It was like four or 5 stories, and it was probably like 2 miles long. It had an ice rink in the very bottom floor, and then they had a movie theater on like the 3rd or 4th floor, and it was a large movie theater that was like 2 stories, I think. So yeah, there was that. Lots of walking. And then I noticed that Sears in the U.S., or at least where I'm at, is like closing down. Like, they're shutting down all the Sears. And then there, Sears is huge. Like, everybody shops at Sears. I was like, oh, so they must be thriving down here. And then another thing that I noticed was, I noticed a lot of, there's a Chinese phone company called Huawei. And it's really big down in Mexico. I guess it's like the second phone carrier, the second largest phone carrier. I guess that's how you would say that in Mexico. Like, it's the second largest one in Mexico. So like, China and Mexico do a lot of business with each other. I thought that was really interesting. And then another thing. So back with the college, at the college, we got to break for lunch. And we would go to the cafeteria. We got free lunch since we kind of paid for it. And like, in America, lunch depends on where you're going. The lunch is not that good. Depends on where you're going. It's not seasoned. One, for allergy reasons, I guess. Sometimes it's seasoned. Sometimes you get that, or at least at my school, sometimes you get that seasoned food and it's like really good. And like, it was good. Like, the food there at their college at Anahuac was delicious. Like, it was like home cooked. It was so good. That I'm a person who loves beans. I love refried beans and rice. It was so good. And I'm a foodie. Like, this is why I'm fat. It was so good. Like, it was like, it felt like I lost weight when we were down there. Like, I came back and I probably lost like 5 pounds. No, 10 pounds. 10 pounds. But I gained it all back and more. But being here, because, a lot of walking there. Healthy food. Healthier food down there. But yeah, like, the food was so good and it was filling. You got your main entree. You got to choose on your main entree. And you got a soup. They love bread or like tortilla. They had like tortillas that you could get, either like a roll or like tortilla, like a small stack of tortillas. And then you could get a drink. And they had this, I forgot what it was, but this one drink. They had 2 drinks. So good. I loved it. It was like one of them was like a fruit drink. I forgot which fruit it was because I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been down there. And then the other one, it was like I guess a flower and water. Like, it's red and it's mostly water and it's very refreshing. Oh, so good when it's hot outside. You drink some of that. Oh my god. So yeah, the food was good. It was so good. It was so, like, at the college, I also noticed, from what I was told, that in order for them to graduate, they have to be able to speak English. So, like, I could have spoke English to anybody on campus, and they would have understood me and could have replied And I was like, oh, that needs to be a thing. Like, you need to be, like, they need to be, like, pretty much almost fluent in English. So I felt like American school should do that. Find a language, and you have to be fluent in that language. Like, it's kind of like a thing to graduate. You have to be fluent in it, or close to fluent. I wish I had that, man. Like, I do. I wish I had it. Like, they let you take 2 classes, and you're good. Like, I'm not gonna remember those 2 classes. I mean, in high school I took up to 3 classes for Spanish, where I learned how to like write and read in Spanish. Well, you learn that, but I mean like read novels in Spanish and understand it. And I was pretty good at speaking in Spanish, and then I took a break, and then I lost it all, and then retook Spanish 1 and 2 in college, and I lost it all except for like, I mean, the biggest thing for the language thing is you have to be any way to like really learn and retain language. You need to talk in that language all the time. That's how you can really learn it and really learn how to do the pronunciation and everything. So that's probably what it was with me, because I didn't have anyone to speak Spanish to. Everybody spoke English. So and then I noticed another thing. So I had my hair is red, right? It's dyed red, or it looks probably like more of an orangish, pinkish, reddish color now. But it was like bright red. Like, I was told I looked like Starfire, like type red. And so I had braids in my hair, and it was the same color red. And one thing is the personal space. Like, they just come up to me and like touch my hair and ask me if it was real. And I didn't know how to say extensions until like halfway through the trip. I was like, extensiones. And they were like, oh, yeah. And I didn't know how to say my hair is actually dyed this color, but it's extensiones. And I showed them how long my hair actually is. Like, yeah, right there. So, they were always touching the braids. Like, they were intrigued by my braids. And there was another girl who had braids too, but it wasn't as like, so I guess since mine was like a bright color, it was more noticeable. So yeah, we went out, or at least I did, with a small group of the people that I went with. We went out to go party and met some locals. And one night we went to, I remember we went to the picnic in the park at night. So it like opened at like 6 or 7. And you're supposed to bring like a blanket and like your own food and stuff. And it was in the botanical garden in downtown, like around downtown Mexico City. And they lit it up, like they had pretty lights, and you got to have a spot. And after that, like a small group of us went to this club, and it was around like, I want to say 1 or 2 in the morning. And the people that we had met up with were like, yeah, let's go somewhere else. The night is young. And I'm just like, but where I'm from, the party ends at like 2. It's time to go home. They're like, no, we go until like 6. Oh, okay. Alright. No, I gotta get up early in the morning. We got classes. We got some places to go. So I was very surprised. I was like, normally it's until like 2. I guess that might just be an East Coast thing. Everything likes to close down. I'm in the South too, so yeah. There's that. Yeah. It was fun. I had fun partying. So, I mean, it wasn't like really party, but it was like going to the club, have a couple drinks, listen to music, talk, jam out. Yeah. Their Mother's Day is on a Friday, and ours is on a Sunday. So we went on a Friday, and they had fireworks. We were trying. There was like we were Koyakan, they have like this canal, and you can take these boats, these colorful boats, eat, drink, chill, have fun. You could have mariachi bands play for you, people on xylophones, people sell stuff on boats, well, the food on boats, and like other collectibles and stuff like that. So we heard all these like boom, like sounded like things blowing up, right? And one of the tour guides and teachers we were with said that it was fireworks, and we were all confused. We were like, fireworks? Normally we do fireworks at night, and it was like broad daylight. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, and we were just like, we're used to fireworks at night, not during the day, because you can see the pretty colors in the night sky. So that was something else. And it was so beautiful. We got to see, they have a lot of greenhouses on the canal river thing, and we got to go in there and look at the pretty flowers. But like, if you had to go to the bathroom, I guess this would be another point. If you had to go to the bathroom, you had to pay for toilet paper. So it was like 6 pesos. You had to pay to use the bathroom. And so what I did was I held it, and I was not gonna pay 6 pesos to go to the bathroom. So yeah. A lot of people did that. They were not gonna pay 6 pesos to go to the bathroom. And then I got to climb a pyramid. Like, I forgot which ruins. It was in Teotihuacan. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's somewhere. It's one of those Teotihuacan. Did I pronounce that right? I have no idea. But we went there, and we got to climb the pyramid. I think it's of the sun. Pyramid of the sun. Is it the moon or the sun? One of them. And that was scary. I do not like heights, and those stairs were steep and narrow at some places. I was scared. I already got asthma. It's already in the mountains, in the mountainous area, and I went up higher. So let me tell you, at the top, had a hard time breathing, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I got to see like the land, and then I found out that where we were, there's a story of 2 volcanoes. It was like the one that looks like a woman, and another one, the one that's looks like a woman laying down, is dormant, and the other one is active. So yeah, I was like, oh, volcanoes. It's the closest I've ever been to one. But yeah, it was so much fun. I love like learning history and like culture stuff. I love it. So, like, we went to Museum of Anthropology, and we got to go see the Aztecs and the Mayans, and I love Aztecs and Mayan stuff. It was amazing. I loved it. And then just to see like how they buried their dead, it was like mummies. So I was like, oh, it's like Egypt kind of. So I was like, they're all kind of like similar. So yeah. And then one thing I do miss and that I loved was being able to get like fresh fruit off the street at a cheap price. Like, just fruit in general down there was cheap, and up here it's like an arm and a leg for some fruit. Like, I don't know why it's so expensive. It's like America wants us to be fat. Everything healthy is expensive. I don't have money for that, so I'm broke. I just graduated college. I'm looking for a job. I don't have money to be buying all this healthy stuff. That's why I gained my weight back, you know. But I miss the fruit. Every day at breakfast, I'd have like watermelon, a whole bunch of fruit. So good. I miss it. I miss the healthy food. I just miss the food in general. It was so good. Like, we went down there and we went to this one place. I forgot the name of it. We went to this one place, and it was like a little market to buy food, and they make the food in front of you. And I'm normally very skeptic if they're not, like, I didn't see any places to wash their hands, and people were making the foods with their hands, and they were dealing with the money and everything, and I was very skeptical about it. I was like, if I go get sick, I did it, and that was the best food that I had the entire time I was down in Mexico. Like, that was the best food, hands down, and it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, it was delicious. But yeah, it was the best food that I had when I was down there. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So, yeah, I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. This video is probably gonna be like really long. I'm gonna have to edit it. Ugh. So yeah, I would go back. And I'd go back and tour some more and learn some more about the history. We went to a palace. It was so pretty, and we learned about the history of that palace. It was beautiful. I loved all the history. I loved it. I was like, yes. When I found out we were going places, I was so happy. I'm kind of a little bit a nerd. Just a little bit of nerd. So yeah. So, another thing that was a lot different was pollution. Pollution there, the smog, the strong, or at least on the East Coast, there isn't smog, like, or at least a lot of it, enough to notice it. But there was smog. It was enough to notice to where if you looked up at the night sky, if you couldn't see stars, that's how bad it was. Or it would be in the middle of the day, and it was really foggy. You couldn't even see, like, there's a lot of valleys. You couldn't see the houses that were in the valleys. Like, it was bad. And you could see, like, little dust particles, and my phone would always go off, like the weather channel app would always go off talking about be careful with the pollution. It's really bad today, or it's really bad for a while. Like, when we were down there, the pollution was really bad, and then there was also, like, a forest fire or something that happened, so it was, like, twice as worse toward the end of our trip. Yeah. But pollution was something else. I was not used to it. You know, I already got asthma. I already said it. And that just added to the breathing experience. Yeah. But other than that, like, that was fine. And then also we found out that Mexico City is sinking, or at least the downtown part is sinking. Like, you can tell, like, there are buildings, like, they had to add stairs to some buildings because it was sinking into the ground, or they had to put, like, sand underneath the building to level it out. Like, we went to a couple churches, and the churches, like, when you go in, it starts off right, and then you can feel it slowly sloping down, and I thought it was, like, cool and weird at the same time. And yeah, like, I have pictures of a statue, and I'm standing straight, and the statue itself is, like, slanted, and, like, the ground, you could see it. And then, like, some of the buildings, like, if you were to stand in front of the buildings, it would be, like, instead of straight like this, it'd be tilted backwards just a little bit, just because sinking to the ground, because Mexico City was built on a lake from the Spaniards building on a lake. Yeah. They took over and built it on a lake. That was very interesting to me. But I think that's everything. Yeah. My list, I finished my list a while ago. But I think that that is everything that I remember off the dome. Yeah. So, like, subscribe. Instagram, you can follow me on Twitter. I don't really post on Twitter. I don't really post on Instagram either, but I probably should. But I know I do. I'm on Snapchat all the time. And Facebook. I share memes on Facebook. So there's that. And I'll link all those in the description below. Anyway. Like, subscribe. And hit the notification bell if you want to know. I'm going to start trying to do more videos since I'm out of school now. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.